It's midday. Hello and welcome to Joy News today. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, coming up, which police station should I show up in? Leader of Democracy Hub, Oliver Vormawor quizzes, even as the Ghana Police Service plans to arraign 42 Stop Galamsey protesters. Running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Matthew Pree, wants Ghanaians to hold politicians accountable for illegal mining. And Netco workers still protesting the merger with the Electricity Company of Ghana. Details of these, plus business, sports, and world news coming up shortly. Remember, we're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Stay tuned for details. Hello again. Leader of Democracy Hub, organizers of the Stop Galamsey Now protest, Oliver Vormawor, says he will present himself at the police station for questioning. Now, his statement comes after the police said it was on a manhunt for him and others who marched the protest, asking government to deal with the illegal mining menace. Speaking on Joy News today, earlier today, Vormawor denied being on the run.
I'm not in hiding. I've been having conversations with the police officers. In fact, yesterday, went through several police stations trying to find where people have been held, all the way down to Amre here, in search of persons who have been arrested. We have not been able to find them. Our consistent message to the police is that, which of these police stations do you want me to show up in? I am going to show up today. I'm going to go to a police station today and demand that I be arrested, as they are talking about. First,
you're going to demand that you be arrested?
Yes, I'm going to demand that I be arrested today.
Why?
Because I think that, well, the police claim they're looking for me, and I don't want us to, you see, these conversations are deliberately put in the air to foster a feeling of criminality around the exercise of constitutional rights. We cannot allow that narrative to foster. It doesn't serve our democracy. It doesn't serve the attention to the real issue of Galamsey that we want to bring attention to. So I would allow myself to be arrested in the same way that we are calling on other people as well to show up today and get themselves arrested. Because the choice between arrest and Galamsey continuity, I think it must be clear to everyone what it says we must, as citizens in this country, choose. So we would rather get ourselves arrested, and I'll be showing up today to get my arrested today, and insist that I be arrested before the day is over.
Oliver Vormawor there. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it will arraign the arrested Stop Galamsey protesters, revealing that it has so far detained 42 demonstrators. Now, the arrest followed a scuffle between the protesters and the police during the protests. Attempts by the demonstrators to proceed with day 2 of their protest at the 37 runabout were thwarted by the police. Here's Maxwell Agbagba's report from day 2 of the 3-day protest.
Scores of protesters gathered for day 2 of the Stop Galamsey demonstration. On the first day, the police stated that they approached with a de-escalation mentality. However, on the second day, it seemed the approach shifted to if persuasion fails, force is applied mentality. Listen to the Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, ACP Grace Ansa Akrufi.
We served a caution to the organizers of this demonstration that today the police were going to do whatever it took to maintain the peace, ensure security, law and order. We therefore urge them to once again consider the 7 locations that police had proposed to them, and that today we would not allow any impediments within the area of the 37 intersection. We will ensure that there will be free flow of traffic.
We are all involved. We are all.
Attempts by the protesters to demonstrate on the streets were foiled by the police, resulting in a scuffle and the arrest of some of them.
We wish to remind the Ghana Police Service and the government that their duty is to protect the rights and safety of all citizens. not to suppress them. The decision to escalate violence against peaceful demonstrators is not only a violation of our constitutional freedoms, but also an affront to the democratic values upon which our nation was built. Release all arrested protesters. The 15 individuals, including an 8-year-old child who was unlawfully arrested during the protest, must be released immediately and unconditionally. This continued detention is unacceptable and undermines the rule of law.
Now, still on this, a security analyst at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center wants the Ghana police to find a middle ground to avert any consequences. Dr. Victor Doke also spoke on Join His Desk.
Of roads also, yes. We all know the roads leading to the presidency is a no-go area when it comes to protests such as these involving the youth and any other group for that matter. So what discussions went on between the protesters, the leaders of the protesters, and then the police themselves? Information as of now is a bit scanty as to what exactly was agreed on, the routes to take, okay, and what are the modalities with regards to the protesters themselves. Now, we don't know much information. We're hearing this and we're hearing that. We expect to hear much more from the police as to what exactly happened and all of that, why they chose to, disallow certain procedures by the protesters at some point in time. This would also enable all of us to now conclude and then make our analysis well, and then know what the way forward is next time. But as it is now, I think the police should try as much as possible, if they can, to bring the leaders of these protesters to the table and then iron out issues. Because you're talking about the youth bulge, which is all over the continent now. We've seen what happened in Kenya. We saw what happened somewhere in Sudan and elsewhere. Now, you cannot say the youth bulge is not in excess. It is very much. That's what we have to be concerned about. Now, you saw the videos. Evidence shows how many policemen were even able to tackle just one protester. That should tell you that if their numbers were much more, the protesters' numbers were much more, then the police would have a cause of concern, would have a bigger challenge than what they had. So I think for everybody now to have a peaceful mindset with regards to what is going on, I think the police should call these leaders to their table and then iron out issues. Ignoring these leaders would rather anger the youth more, okay? What is happening is in a theory of conflict, the frustration aggression theory. Their needs, okay, their wants are being prevented. And when you prevent anybody from meeting their wants, you would show that they'll be aggressive, and aggressive behavior will lead to violence.
Well, day 3 of the protest is currently underway. In a related development, running mate of the MPP, Matthew Pree, is asking the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS, to use their collective voice to push for policies that promote sustainable mining and protect Ghana's natural resources. Addressing the union at its 58th annual Congress in Kumasi, Dr. Pree emphasized the need for students to take an enlightening position on illegal mining and hold politicians accountable for their actions. Nana Boachi Adam has more in this report.
The National Union of Ghana Students held its 58th Congress at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where Dr. Matthew Pree addressed the gathering. In his keynote speech, the former Minister of Education lamented the devastating effects of illegal mining on Ghana's environment, economy, and communities. Stressing on the destruction of water bodies, he called for a more collaborative efforts from all stakeholders, including government, civil society, and student unions.
One of the most topical conversations as we head into the 2024 elections, whether you like it or not, the preacher man said it, or one of the speakers said it. It's Galamsey. NUGS, we should hear from NUGS. You must have an enlightened position on it. Like I told the men's fellowship, as politicians, no politician will come up with a policy that will let him lose the votes of the people he wants to represent. After all, like my good friend Trump says, he doesn't like martyrs because they are dead. You should succeed in your advocacy. MPP should rebirth itself through Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to continue those policies that will benefit all. As long as we all have the feeling, as long as the last tree dies, the last man dies. We believe that. If we believe that, and we believe that water is life, I'm not against mining. I'm 100% pro-mining. God gave the gold for us to use it to enhance our value, our lives. But the gold there, God put it down there. And God wants us to use the gold to enhance our lives. So that we have to have responsible mining.
According to Dr. Opoku-Prempeh, NUCs must call on politicians to sign a pact which will hold them accountable for their actions.
Amidst the fight to ward off and end illegal mining, one man is leading a community to show the way. His team is leading a community in our win to fight illegal miners and have actually declared his area a no-mining zone. Reverend Father Joseph Blay explains how he's been able to do this and what lessons other communities can learn from this.
I've done a lot of researches on how Galamsey has devastated other places, especially the Wassa area. I went to Wassa Aguna and I saw what is there. I went to Wassa Bekwai, Wassa Hiawa, Wassa Breman. And then, of course, when we are traveling, we see all the way from Akrupon to Ayamfre, you can see the devastation. So I said, we don't have to wait for this to come. So I convinced the people, I met them anytime that I went home. I will meet the entire people, I will meet the chief and explain the dangers, the risk, and that can come to the community. They will lose their water, they will lose their farmlands, morality will completely degenerate. So that convinced them. And now as I'm talking, the entire people, way back in 2022, we formed what we call the Jema Concord. Jema Concord against Galamsey. We wrote as a bylaw, we served all necessary responsible authority from the president to the regional minister to all the court, supreme, the chief justice and all, even up to the last magistrate in Enchi. And then we served all the security personnel. So that stands as a bylaw protecting Jema. So I think that has won and that the people are proud of it. There have been an attempt, the first attempt, they brought him to 250,000 Ghana cedis. Then secondly, they brought him 350. Then the third time, they brought him 700,000, including a pickup. And the interesting thing is that this is an ailing chief, very unwell. And yet he says, I will not sacrifice my community, the future of my town, for my selfish gain. So up to now, he's standing by his way. For me, he's one of the most people of integrity, a man that we can say this is a man of integrity. He is really a model.
Away from Galamsey, staff of Netco in the Upper East region have joined colleagues in the other regions to oppose a proposed draft bill that aims to merge ECG. In a protest march within their office premises in Bolgatanga, they said they are solidly behind their mother company, VRA, in kicking against the measure, which they believe would have severe consequences for the nation. Some of them have been speaking to Joy News.
Yes, we are all aware of what is happening in Parliament in relation to energy sector. Yeah, there is a measure laid before Parliament and in consultation with our stakeholders, we think that it is not going to help the crisis in the energy sector. We are opposing it because we think that it is an attempt to sell state assets under privatization. Now, as we talk now, ECG is seriously struggling. Instead of dealing with it, you are thinking of merging, No! Now, imagine merging ECG with Netco. How is that going to reduce the distribution cost? How? So we, staff of Netco, Upper East area, our eyes are red, and we're not even in heaven. God's eyes are red.
A band person oka VRA ECG Netco nyabom ye company baako na se ya enim no ECG a band yom ka bebre ECG on problem a na no tese be ka VRA ni Netco akoka VRA ECG ho eti e yes ma ka nyina ne se eye tema division e wo under VRA no a band person o ti ne ho eti free VRA ho na e ko form e no ka se ni company no mu na kwan eton a thermal part of the company. And the yes workers in Yampiri. Yampiri. I don't know.
Well, the story is not different in the Bono East region, where the national president of the VRA and Netco staff, William Kwame Asare, says the proposal, which also includes consolidating ECG with Netco and establishing an independent thermal authority derived from VRA's thermal assets, is not in the public interest. Oh, let's go live to that region and speak to my colleague Anas Sabit, who joins us with the latest. Anas, kindly update us with the latest. What's happening today? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you.
I'm currently in the premises of the Techiman area office of the Volta River Authority, which is also a Netco, Northern Electricity Distribution Company. And behind me, banners they displayed during the protest, indicating that VRA thermal plants are not for sale. Of course, to the staff over here, they are unhappy with the government's plan to, do that particular measure and also disintegrate the thermal plants from the VRA as it is currently being run. Their fear is that the situation is not going to be favoring staff of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, and so they are vehemently against that particular station that seeks to merge Power Authority and then VRA, and then also disintegrate the Tema plant and then the Takrade or Boise Tema plant. So these staff in this part of the country are not happy with this particular situation, and they are saying that they are going to fight till the end to ensure that this particular attempt that is being taken by government is not successful. So these are some of the things they've been saying. Netco branch chairman, who is in charge of the staff, Mr. William Kwame Asare, has been speaking to us, indicating that for the staff of Netco or VRA here in Techiman and its environs, they are forever going to stand against this particular decision by government to merge or to bring together ECG and Netco.
Right, Anas Sabit, thank you very much. From that region, let's go to the Upper West region, where my colleague Rafiq Salam is joining us with the latest. Rafiq, there have been protests in that region as well. Tell us more.
The process took place, that was last Friday, and they are still continuing, where red bands are telling the people, highlighting the challenges that the company will face should the measure come off. And so they are strongly kicking against it, and they are saying that they will not allow it to happen because they think that it will not be of immense benefit to the customer, neither will it be for the staff of the company.
Rafiq, have you heard from the authorities of these companies? And if you have, what have they been telling you?
For now, we haven't, because according to, the union leaders, they are telling us that the management doesn't want even them to discuss these issues of the measure with them. And so they are strongly kicking against it, but the management are playing their cards closer to their chest. They don't want any dialogue, nothing, and that's why they are strongly kicking against it.
Okay, Rafiq Salam, thank you very much. Let's stay in the northern part of the country and speak to my colleague Martina Bugri, who is also bringing us update from the northern region. Martina, tell us what's happening where you are. Hello, Martina, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but can you repeat the question again?
Yes, we've gone to the Benue region, we've gone to the Upper West region. We've heard of the workers at Netco protesting against the merger with ECG. Tell us what is happening in that particular region that you are concerning this.
And the northern region is same. They held theirs on Friday, and they're saying that they would continue to protest until they get results. They think that they are a key stakeholder in this decision. And so if government has anything to do with the merger, they should be consulted. They should be given briefing after the draft, but that has not done. And they feel that because government hasn't done that, there is something in it that government is hiding. And that is why government is bypassing them and sending it straight to parliament. So they believe that there is a need for a dialogue. And they're also calling on Ghanaians to back them, because when this deal goes through, it means that people will be paying extra for power, considering that they are giving us at a lower rate than the private independent producer. And so they believe that if it goes on, people will be made to pay power extra.
We've only heard from the staff who are kicking against this, but have we heard from the management?
There is the senior staff association chairman who spoke, and he represents the workers. Largely, they are the people who are speaking, but the management itself hasn't responded or said anything to this discussion that is going on.
Thank you very much. Martina Bugri is our resident correspondent in the northern region. Away from that, technical officer for adolescent health and development at the WHO country office, Edmund Nate, wants government to review some national policies on adolescent health to reflect national and international standards. He's asking for financial commitment for adolescents to reduce costs to access quality healthcare delivery. There's more in the following report filed by Martina Bugri in Tamale.
The project was aimed at mobilizing support and seeking government's commitment towards adolescent health and well-being. Speaking to the media after the event, the technical officer for adolescent health and development at the WHO country office, Edmond Banafunate, said there is a need for government to make a deliberate commitment to allocate funds for adolescent health service.
One of the key points we raised in the discussion was providing quality service to adolescent health so that adolescents will be able to live their full potential and fulfill their aspirations, ensuring that we create an enabling and a safe environment for young people to thrive in this country, and also supporting with developing or drafting a commitment on behalf of adolescents and young people in this country. Commitment to improve service delivery, and also some policy commitment to improve or to review national adolescent health policies that need to be reviewed to reflect national and international standards. What we think government can do is to continuously seek the views of young people, to engage young people. We said nothing for young people without young people.
The project lead for the Youth Advocacy Leadership Project, Sekou Efrie, said there is a gap with the efforts of government towards the needs of young people in the country, which translates to lack of quality education, health service, and other needs of the youth.
It looks so much that there is a gap with the efforts of the government towards the needs of the young people in the country. According to the project, there are 1.8 billion young people across the globe. However, when you check the progress towards SDG, the SDGs across the globe, it looks like there is overlapping gap in terms of finances, in terms of the efforts of the government, in terms of services and policies. So that is what translates into personally, them not having quality education, quality health services, and also maybe, yes, anything that has to do with their well-being.
In other stories this afternoon, wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia, has emphasized the importance of mental health education in the country. She's worried that mental health education has been neglected and wants stakeholders to prioritize it. Samira Bawumia has been speaking at the launch of this year's Rotary Family Health Day in Accra, where 3,000 people in 5 underserved communities are being targeted for Rotary's Club's free health care for 2024.
Since its inception, the Rotary Family Health Initiative has benefited over 181,000 Ghanaians across 6 regions of the country. This year's outreach program, targeted at some 30,000 Ghanaians in 30 communities across 5 underserved regions, will screen for various medical conditions including HIV and mental health disorders. Florence Hagan is the District 9104 governor.
These events, spanning 3 days, have become a vital humanitarian service in our country. Our last event, held in 2018, was a testament to the power of collective action. We provided free health care to over 66,000 individuals across 50 locations in what were then 10 regions. A retrospective glance showed that over the years, we have reached 181,000 people with essential health services. In addition, we expanded the initiative beyond Ghana, introducing Rotary Family Health Days to our fellow Rotarians in Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Niger. This year, we will serve communities across 30 locations in the Greater Accra, Ashanti, Volta, Eastern, and Western regions.
Speaking at the launch, Second Lady Samira Bawumia commended the Rotary Club for including mental health education into its portfolio of health concerns to its outreach initiative, emphasizing the need for higher attention for the condition.
As a fellow Rotarian, I'm proud to see how this initiative has grown and how it continues to meet the healthcare needs of underserved communities. I'm especially pleased to see that this year's program includes mental health education. Mental health has often been stigmatized and overlooked in our society, but it is a critical component of overall health and well-being. And this year, the mental health awareness, eye testing, ear, nose, and throat screening, deworming, distribution of condoms shows how this initiative takes a holistic approach to healthcare service provision.
Some volunteer Rotarians explained the process, urging Ghanaians in the targeted communities to take advantage of the initiative to know their health status.
The motivation behind it is to let people know their health status and then also make people aware so that, they can get checked up and then know how to handle themselves.
We screen for TB, HIV, diabetes, malaria, deworming, and then we also go to the schools around the particular site. So like here is Sahara one, which is at Dabraka. We go to the schools, public schools and private schools around here and deworm the children.
Support from organizations like the Rotary Club have been lauded in tackling the spread of diseases in the country. For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Accra.
Well, the overlord of the Wa traditional area, Naf Hussein Seidu Pelpo IV, has successfully jammed the cow, a yearly ritual to his physical strength. This act is also a sign of a blessing for the Wala state in the coming years. Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Since the days of yore, there have always been mixed feelings among the royal class, especially immediate family members of the overlord of the Wala state, whenever he is to cross or jump over the cow. It is a yearly mandatory ritual he has to perform, and there is consequence if he fails.
Another year has come and another time moment for the Wale Overlord. He's expected to jump over the cow for the 17th time. Behind me, you can see a sea of people, majority of them coming from the 12 recognized sects in the Wale state. And so they are in pensive mood. They are waiting anxiously to see what really will happen.
The onus now lies on 73-year-old Nafuseni CDP the fourth. Two half-sisters of the Wale Overlord sat akimbo and in tenterhooks praying for a successful crossover.
I'm very sad. Personally, you can see from my speech, I'm very, very emotional for now. Until he finished jumping on the cow, I will not be myself.
Nafuseni CDP the fourth appeared at the forecourt wearing a faded red smoke as old as a palace with several amulets dotted at the front and back over an ash Timberland shorts and brown core sandals.
His Majesty has always chosen to perform that ritual in that attire of his biological grandfather, Napilpo III, who became one from 1920 to 1935. That just as his grandfather Napilpo got it right at all times during his lifetime, wearing that attire would give him firm assurance that he would not be the one to send the state backwards. So that is what is behind His Majesty's decision to always go out there in that over 100-pound attire.
Leading the charge to go around the cow were representatives of the Walimaire clan, who are the spiritual godfathers of the Wale Overlord, accompanied by the Tendambes, Frocos, Bonamini, the latter serving as the warlords of the Wale Overlord and close members of the royal family. The Overlord wished to aid him in this spiritual mission. Per the rules, he is supposed to go around the cow 3 or 7 times amid recitation of some verses from the Holy Quran from the Muslim clerics. After going around the cow 3 times, Nafuseni CDP the fourth made a successful 17th jump over the cow since ascending to the water skin in 2004. There was spontaneous jubilation and the crowd went agog over the successful crossover.
That is why you will find our drums play in the moment that he succeeds in performing that exercise. That Almighty Allah says in the closing verse of Surah Yasin, Quran chapter 36, that if you understood the drum beat, you would have heard them play that. That above all, everything is in the hands of our Creator, Almighty Allah, and to Him shall be our return. So His Majesty should not fear. Then the other drummer behind him would then play. In that case, now shake yourself, become a jubilant person. That was what took place for us. So.
Well, Big Chef Tertiary has kicked off with 9 teams representing 9 tertiary schools tasked with creating meals that reflect their personality and culinary journey. This challenge, while seemingly simple, required contestants to dig deep into their experiences, identities and aspirations, transforming your thoughts and emotions into edible masterpieces. Here's what you missed.
Today, our contestants are tasked to prepare a meal that identifies them. Contestants, are you ready?
Yes.
So you have 45 minutes to get this done. And so I'm counting down from 3, 2, 1, and you are on. To go, and we're about counting down. Judges, let's do this together. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stop work.
This, at your level, it's a no-no. Okay? And that goes to all of you. Okay? Today is the first day, and there's no skills in here. Cutting vegetable fruits for me, there's no skills in there. Anybody on the street can do that. At your level, we are expecting something much more better than this.
Big Chef Tertiary.
The kitchen has no boundaries.
We have the latest in business after the break.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. Now, the proliferation of unregistered businesses in the aquaculture sector and unregulated inland fishing have been identified as a bane to Ghana's fisheries industry. This is largely due to the lack of legislation and policies to contain activities of the sector. Under the current Fisheries Act, with threats to public consumption, the Fisheries Development and Aquaculture Ministry has been engaging stakeholders in the sectors in Kumasi on reviewing the Fisheries Act for sustainable fishing management. Here's more in this report.
Ghana's aquaculture sector is fast becoming the mainstay of the fisheries as environmental impacts, including climate change, is depleting marine fish stock. Since its enactment in 2002, the Fisheries Act, Act 625, has only seen 2 amendments in 2014 and 2015 to address the changing trends in the sector. The last review saw the inclusion of new regulations regarding measures to deter and eliminate illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. But regulations of the aquaculture and inland fishing industries are not entirely enshrined in the Act. Director of Policy and Evaluation at the Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry, Eric Ba, explains.
There are no regulations, and it's not helping the sector. That is the main challenge that we have identified regarding the aquaculture operations. With the inland, like I said, it's free range. There are no regulations. They do whatever they like. There's this thing we call IU, unregulated, unreported fishing, illegal, unreported fishing activities, which used to be at the marine. And now it's taking place in the inland too. Use of bamboos, use of dynamite, and all other illegal things.
The ministry has been engaging stakeholders in both the inland fishing and aquaculture sectors on a review of the Fisheries Act. The new act seeks to rebuild fish stocks to enhance the socio-economic conditions of fishing communities, create employment within national and international frameworks and standards. It would also improve food security while contributing to gross domestic product and foreign exchange earnings. Eric Ba again.
The latest review was in 2015, which is almost 10 years now. So the ministry has found it very important at this time to review the Fisheries Act to keep pace with the new technologies and then the emerging trends in the fishing industry. So the ministry is in the process of developing a new Fisheries Act. And as part of the process, we can't sit in the office and develop an act for the operators. So we need to come down to engage the stakeholders.
Consultant to the ministry, Doris Yeboah, explains the new act would ensure increased enforcement and monitoring of the sector.
There are a lot of things we are trying to formalize. You understand? We are trying to get people to be formal with the system so that we can really get them to do the right things.
The fish folk are upbeat the bill, when passed, would facilitate regulation of the sector as they called for more investments.
We are suggesting to the ministry and the commission and the government as a whole that they should establish a development and a research fund for the inland sector. And we believe that will be the game changer to sustain our fisheries in the inland sector.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bratsqueko.
Now, as part of measures to strengthen the digital innovation ecosystem in Ghana, some stakeholders within the sector are calling for more collaboration to help create better jobs and economic opportunities. Chief Executive of Simplon Africa, Francois Dorole, urged players to work to ensure expansion within the sector.
The initiative by Simplon Africa and Mobile Web Ghana aimed at equipping young Ghanaians with digital marketing and digital skills. The event featured success stories from participants who have already benefited from the training.
I realized that I really needed knowledge on the digital space, and so coming to Ghana Digital 2024 has equipped me with the knowledge and skills needed in social media management, digital marketing and all of that, which has really improved my business from the time I started till now. I've seen a big improvement in even the way clients get back to me and all of that.
Chief Executive Officer of Simplon Africa, Francois Dorole, said the goal is to empower the next generation of African leaders with the tools they need to build a brighter future.
Our objective is to make social inclusion by training young Africans on digital skills and helping them get job opportunities. We have been around since 2018, and so far we have trained more than 30,000 people across the continent.
And that's it for business. The news continues after the break.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftao Nabila Adlai. Former Ghana international Mark Leesian has explained why he got into coaching. According to him, hitherto he had no ambitions of getting himself educated to become a coach, but he wanted to avoid getting depressed after the end of his career. And that is the reason why he got into coaching.
Well, actually, when I remember when I was playing, if you asked me if I want to be a coach or get into into coaching, I would say no. But then, as time passed and I start thinking. I mean, I've been doing this football thing for almost my whole life. So why not take up a coaching license and still stay in football. Be around the players, especially the young ones, guide them a little bit, give them a few advice, few feedbacks, and stuff like that. And yeah, I still love the game, and so yeah, that's what made me start my coaching license. Actually, I started before I end my career. So then.
And you started with the very lowest one, license C, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I was in Wales. I did my license there. So I did the C, the B, together.
Yeah.
And then a year or two later, I started doing the A. So I started doing my A license before I came here. So I finished here. Yeah.
And then you graduated last year. Congratulations on that.
You.
I saw you holding up the certificate.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because people think you've been an ex-player, it's easy to go to coaching, but it's not at all. But then I took up this decision to do it because I didn't want to end up being one of these ex-players. They finish their career, they go home, and then now they start thinking what they're gonna do. Then they get into depression and stuff like that. So and I start doing it so I can keep my routine kind of the same as when I was playing. So yeah.
The Joy Sports Invitational 2024 edition will be launched tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. on Joy Prime, Joy FM, and also on Joy News. Take and stay with us as we bring you details of the event, which will be happening on October 26th. That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com.
Well, let's take you to Kenya now because that country has pledged to send 600 more police officers to Haiti in the coming weeks to fight gangs controlling much of the capital and nearby areas. This will bring the Kenyan contingent deployed incrementally since June to the Caribbean nation's beleaguered police force up to 1,000. During a visit to the country, Kenya's President William Ruto also said he supported turning the country or the current Kenya-led security mission into a full United Nations peacekeeping operation. A handful of other countries have together pledged to send at least 1,900 more troops. Well, that's it for the news this afternoon. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.